Welcome to the only show about the system by people who lived it. I'm Lawrence Bartley.
Cherie just got out of prison. This is actually the first time that we'll get to meet her in person.
I have to register as a violent offender until 2040.
Because you had a stillbirth.
Because I was stillbirth.
I think for a lot of people, doing time is kind of a punishment. But for me, it was like the beginning of a redemptive process.
The system is not built by us. So something that's not built for you can't be for you.
We at Inside Story take a lot of pride in telling the stories of folks we otherwise may not hear from. Last season, we introduced you to Cherie Mason, whose mother Cherie was in prison after losing her pregnancy. We caught up with the two of them shortly after Cherie's release.
So this Sonic over here is where I first met Tiffany to talk to her about her mom's case. Cherie Mason, Tiffany's mom, is a woman that we first wrote about a few years ago when we did an investigation into women who had been prosecuted for miscarriage and stillbirth. And Cherie was one of them. She had a stillbirth, and because of a positive drug test at the hospital, they charged her with manslaughter. She got a 12-year sentence in Oklahoma.
This is a free call from Cherie Mason.
What did you feel like your options were when you found out you were pregnant?
I didn't feel like I had any options. None at all. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, but the death of my child was the hardest thing that I will ever have to deal with.
What would it mean to you if your mom got out?
Just mean the world to me, just to have her around. I've had so many big things happen. I haven't had my mom there with me.
After we featured her, she got a new lawyer through a group called Pregnancy Justice, and Cherie just got out of prison. And this is exciting for us because it's actually the first time that we'll get to meet her in person. Hi. Hi, stranger.
Hi.
How are you? It's good to meet you.
Cherie had 5 years left on her sentence, but her new lawyer filed a motion for early release, and the judge agreed.
Well, what's happened since you got out?
Wonderful stuff. I got to go fishing in the rain yesterday, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I love walking through the grocery store, and I know that's weird, but I do.
All that freedom.
Yeah, yeah. This is the one negative that I wish was not the case. I have to register as a violent offender until 2040.
Because you had a stillbirth.
Because I had a stillbirth. Yeah.
The registry thing really bothers me. It's like an added little insult.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. Yeah.
Well, and tell me about your two younger daughters, because you were in touch with Tiffany and Courtney while you were incarcerated,
Right.
but you hadn't been in touch with your youngest girls in a long time.
A long time. But a week before I got out, MJ reached out to Tiffany because she had seen the video that you guys did before. I'm gonna cry, I'm sorry. And said she wanted to see me, and start talking to me. So now I get to talk to her every day.
So you're rebuilding those relationships.
Yeah, I'm really trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiffany, I know you missed your mom so much. What's it been like having her home?
This has been so great. It feels like I can just actually breathe and relax a little bit again. I haven't even been myself this whole time she's been out. It's just people need their moms, So it's really happy that she's here.
I'm happy to be here too.
Many know Styles P from his music, but he also had a brush with the system. We sat down to discuss the value of artistic expression and investing in the community. Styles, what's up, my guy?
What's up, King?
Yeah, thank you for coming through, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Thanks for having me.
In the rap game, a lyricist is someone who could say something slick, like you. In one of your songs, you said, let the trade pound bang your neck, which is a reference to like shooting someone. But nowadays, using rap lyrics to prosecute people. What do you think about them using rap lyrics in criminal trials?
I think it's horrible to do because now you're taking the art aspect of it out. Like, would you do that in Hollywood? Would you do that to a video game creator? Would you do that to an actor? Would you do it to any other artist? You wouldn't even do it to another music genre. So how is that cool for hip hop? But I also on the other end of it, artists nowadays will literally say a crime that actually happened and put it in the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, the young people nowadays, they'll give you the whole play exactly how it happened, play by play, word by word. We do have to be sensible as people who understand the criminal system. If you've given them evidence, they're going to use the evidence against it. So it's a very touchy topic, but at the end of the day, I don't believe anyone's art should be held against them in a court of law.
I remember you said somewhere that you compared rap music to country music as far as it's being hard.
Yeah, very much.
What do you mean by that?
I think country music says as much, if not more, hardcore shit than hip-hop music. They say a lot of crazy shit about letting hammers fly, drinking, bar fights, hurting someone. They have a lot of hardcore references. I like it as a hardcore individual. So for me, I understand though, but the world's gonna view them as in a total different way than what it views hip-hop.
What if prosecutors use other genres of music?
They wouldn't.
Why you say that?
They wouldn't. Because country music isn't a black-based music. So the prosecutor wouldn't use that against them. As far as the court of law and as far as it comes with prosecution and things of that nature, it's never been fair. It's not fair now. It's never been. My personal viewpoint, they use the system as another form of slavery. The system is not built by us. So something that's not built for you can't be for you. And that's why I believe it needs a lot of change. That's why I do what I do now, and you get to a certain point and you work on making your community better, work on delegating with the people who are in control of your community. You gain control of your community. We have to put things in place to where our voices now have a positive effect on the change that's gonna be for the better.
Styles, you're on a mission to improve the health of disadvantaged communities.
My plan is to keep making my people aware how important health is, and we're seeing the growth. We're seeing more people that were never really thinking about their health as much, thinking about their health. We have 5 juice bars now, fortunately. We have Pharmacy for Life, which is an online store. We have 1 brick and mortar. So we push preventative measures because another system that's not in play for us that as well is people in poor neighborhoods usually don't go to the doctor often, nor have health insurance. So what's the next best choice? The next best choice is to live a life of prevention. And if you look at the food that we have, it's absolutely absurd in America. And then if you live in a poor neighborhood, the choices are even worse. So I don't like to ask for change, I like to make it. If you're asking someone for the change or to feel your pain, it doesn't really work that way. When you show them that you're making a change and you're affecting your neighborhood, then you're gonna have a conversation that's different.
When you were in Valhalla jail, right?
Yeah, yes, I was.
When you were there any healthy like juices and foods? No?
Not at all. Maybe the orange and the apple and the banana that came on the tray, but other than that, no. That was another, eye opener for me. Fortunate enough, I had the money to make the choice. I was sentenced to 10, 11 months, one of the two. I was facing 10 years on top of the charge I had. So it was in my mindset that I wasn't gonna allow myself to get used to eating trays. So I didn't eat a tray. I never ate a tray. And it was like, you're gonna break down and not eat a tray one day. I was like, nah, I got enough. I'll figure it out with the oatmeal, the commissary. If you can't identify something, like mystery meat didn't sound cool to me. Like we get mystery meat. It's like, what's in there exactly, and no one really knows.
Soybean gristle.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you look at the yard bird, and it's like, how's everybody got the same exact piece of chicken?
So you
like
mean-
logically,
hold on.
I think far off. Like, but I'm just saying, like, how we all getting the same exact, the drumstick connect to the. How does everybody get that piece?
And you said yard bird, so people don't know. You talk about the bird that you literally see in the yard,
Yeah.
the pigeon. Like, people say, is that what's on our tray?
Yeah, like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, man. When I was in the pen, the food was trash, just like you said.
Yeah.
But the way I used to make healthy juices, I used to have oatmeal, I used to put peanut butter, maybe banana in there, raisins, and protein powder. Do you think is a way for someone like you to provide, like, healthy juices and food to prisons and jail?
We're working on that. I
Really?
would love to do that. Yeah, we're working on some ideas that maybe we could present. But before we get to the jails, what I'm really working on is being able to do it in the schools first to affect a positive change while they're young. And then I think once we have enough schools in play, then I think it's something we can introduce to the jails.
And with that, I gotta salute you.
Salute, King.
Thanks, King.
Love.
Appreciate you. Sometimes the things people do to pass the time on the inside end up being the things that create their path forward. This is In the Spotlight.
Now, without any further ado, please welcome your host, Mr. Aiden Sinclair.
I'm not that kind of magician. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the underground.
My name is Aiden
Welcome.
Sinclair, and I was incarcerated for 5 years in the federal penitentiary system. I moved around a lot as a young child, and at the age of 18, when I graduated high school, I went right into the Marine Corps, and the military seemed to be like a home for me. And I ended up getting into some trouble when I was in the Marines. I was in solitary confinement for 9 months. And the inmate who was in that room before I got it had been reading a book called An Expert at the Card Table. And it was a book about card cheating and sleight of hand. And the book was left in the cell. When I got an opportunity to order some commissary, I ordered a deck of cards and started playing with it. And I had an aptitude for it. It's called a deck of strangers. Each card is its own unique piece of art. I remember a time in my life when I would sign my name, and underneath that I would write the words Lance Corporal of Marines, because that's who I was. And when I got in trouble, I couldn't use that title anymore. And at that point, my life took a pretty sharp turn, and I ended up spending about 15 years of my life after that point as a fugitive. I was on the run from the law. I operated very illegal poker rooms and really didn't have relationships or friends. Take the pieces. And in about 2005, walked into the federal authorities and said, hi, this is who I am. This is everything I've done. And I retired. Break it open. That's your card, the Ace of Diamonds?
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, doing time is kind of a punishment. But for me, it was like the beginning of a redemptive process. Magic, unlike any other art, is an interactive art. You have to have a participant. So that started off with just my cellmate. Within very short order, I got known as the magic guy. I realized every time I did stop and open up that deck of cards and do a trick for somebody, neither I nor that person was in prison in that moment. You're so into what's happening that it breaks the laws of kind of time and space.
You'll be fine.
Getting out of prison was hard. Somebody that I had done time with owned a resort, and he had seen me do magic, and he was like, hey, that would be cool in my resort. So look me up when you get out. The day I walked into the halfway house, I had a job that had a paycheck of $1,000 a week.
This is our box of fear.
And on speakerphone, I got to listen to a BOP officer go, $1,000 a week? That's more than I make. That's ridiculous. No, he can go work at Walmart like everyone else.
Keep reaching. Feel around.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay. That was well done. Now, what did you feel?
It felt like a snake.
Yeah, it felt like a snake. It's not. It's just a piece of paper that says snake.
There were probably 50 times when I got released that a younger me probably would have said, I'm out, screw this, catch me if you can.
Would you hold that in your right arm nice and close? Think about all those things and reach back in the box. And that thing will go away. Is it gone?
Yeah, it's just
A piece of paper. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a round of applause. Take your hand out of the box. I'll take that back.
So it takes a bit of wisdom and maturity to be able to go like, all right, that sucks. How do I adapt? Prison has defined my magic to this very day because prison taught me that magic isn't about me. It's about the story and the experience that somebody else has and whether or not I can take a craft that is designed for deception and fooling people and to give them an emotional response that is different from I feel fooled. I could not have imagined in prison that I would be where I am today. In 2 days, I'm supposed to close on my house. Like, I never thought I would own a house. Literally, I would walk around every day with my passport in my wallet because I was always able to get on a plane and just be gone. If you're inside still, I would hope that you would be able to look at the world and know that you have dominion over your destiny. The only person who can stop you from doing what you want to do in life is yourself.
I appreciate all of you for being here.
Don't give up and don't turn around. Move forward.
Good night, everyone.
This is a prepaid collect call from an incarcerated individual. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
The smells I miss going into the supermarket and you smell the fresh fruit, or going into the clothing store and how you smell that brand new smell. That shit got me. And even like the New York City traffic, like I miss that toxic smell.
The smell from the outside that I miss most, it would be like my house. And that goes right back to like missing home, right? But it's like my house got a particular smell, and when I was home, girlfriends would be like, yo, your house, you smell like your house, and your house smell like cookies. That's what you smell like. When I smell cookies, like I think about your house, I think about you or whatever. But I couldn't smell it when I was home because like I was living in the house. But like when my mom came to see me one time, I smelled it on her, and then it was like, oh snap, this is home right here, and I identified that smell with being at home.
One smell that I miss is my grandma's cooking, because that's what I grew up off of, and it was always like good times, like when she cooked.